All right, guys, I think this episode may pack a little bit of a punch for you. A lot of you guys were talking about how I needed to make sure we got the elephants a little more room, so I went all Ruble Trillions Tivoli Garden. I kind of went the flea market, kind of like bootleg version, but we have got us an elephant bridge now that goes over the path, and we have substantially increased the elephant footprint here. So now I know a lot of you guys remember it come up in the comments quite a bit the last two episodes about it just didn't seem like the elephants had enough space, and really, like I was saying, modeling it after Zoo Knoxville. I know a lot of you guys haven't been there, but the Stokely Family Elephant Preserve, it is not big at all. It is I was pretty decently scaled to how it really is. So, you know, not saying that that's right, but just so you guys know that that was kind of the original angle that we were going for, was the Stokely Family Elephant Center in Zoo Knoxville, which is yeah, it is a tad small. But now, like I said, we've got the little bridge, the natural formed bridge, like I said, that I got off Ruble Trillions. If you're not watching his episode, his series on Tivoli Zoo, he has got a gorgeous, natural, really nice humped, like grass green path that goes over his exhibit, that I believe the giraffes and a couple other things can use it. But this is, like I said, this is kind of like my little bootleg version here. It's kind of like, I would kind of consider this like maybe Elephant Valley, if you will, because see, you can actually come down through here, and let me hit T real quick, and see, on both sides of the path, if they're on each side, you can stop and you can look at them. And then, of course, you can make your way down into the tunnel and over to some of the other looking areas. But this right here is kind of like your main view of them. And then, of course, if they're over here on the other side messing around as well. And something else, I really was... I know you guys were talking about my implied exhibits and not doing any lately. Check this out. I've got a little Meerkat exhibit set up. So I've got them like a little tunnel there. I've got all kinds of little branches and stuff for them to mess with and dig their own little tunnels under. Like I said, this is like it's kind of hard to do with the terrain tool just because everything's like, it's so large and just drastic. But I've got them another little, kind of like a little cave right in there. And yeah, they can just, you can kind of enter into their little area right here and go down these sidewalks, and you can kind of just lean over the wall or look through the glass and watch them. And somebody, I think, I posted this on Instagram, and somebody was like, I don't think those walls would be that short to where you could just stand there and look at the, look at the meerkats. And really quite the contrary. I've looking up concept art and different meerkat designs. There's a lot of, maybe it might be some older pictures, but there's a lot of them where the people are like the dude is literally just leaning up against the wall looking down at the meerkats digging and playing in their burrows. So yeah, that is kind of like the little area here that greets you when you come into the African area. And the meerkats are neighbors to the ring-tailed lemurs. So I've kind of like worked this hill out with a little bit of overgrowth. I think it come out pretty cool. Another thing you guys were mentioning about kind of losing the immersion in the African area with all of the pine trees and the sycamore trees and the oak trees in the background. But like I said, kind of keeping with the Knoxville narrative, they're not going to tear down all of those woods, that have been here for hundreds of years just for some African theming. So as far as the background and stuff goes, yeah, you're going to see that. You're going to see the big pine trees and kind of all of that, like all what entails all of that of not tearing down the natural foliage. So that is kind of what we've done with Pine Creek here. We've brought in all of the natural type of trees and shrubs that we think would could thrive. but we also left some of the larger woods and wood up as well. This is my little Jurassic World gift shop that I kind of African themed a little bit. Although that would be pretty cool to have a little dive off right past the Meerkat exhibit here. Just dump off and get you some shirts, or maybe have some of those penny press machines, and then that kind of brings you into the whole the whole Elephant Valley area. And then of course too, out here, once you go under the elephant bridge here, we will branch out and they will be neighbors to the giraffes, zebra, and then of course too we got to move on to lions and stuff like that. But yeah, so now that is the newly improved, give more space to our elephant friends, kind of like little enclosure over here. So now, like I said, we've kind of beefed up their square footage a little bit. I think it come out really cool and just fits like the whole African vibe over there really good. I think it's a good little it's a good pulling point. You know, if you're back here and you're walking up to the meerkats and you're like, what is that? And like you could be all the way back here and see the elephant kind of crossing that natural like barrier here, natural bridge. So yeah. And what else have I done here? Let's see. Oh yeah, Nightbringers. As far as beefing up some more of our backstage, check out this water pump station that Nightbringer did. Is that not absolutely killer? Gotta get rid of some of this tall grass here. Kind of poking up through our concrete. I thought that was awesome. We've even got it to where like the little maintenance trucks, if they have to get in there, can. But just look at all the pump work and the pipes. Actually even has a smaller little building over here that actually functions as one of the water purifiers. But just look at the detail and stuff. Little door that goes in there. That is just insanely well done. Look at the little door right there, these pumps. Big shout out to Nightbringer there. Look at all down in here, the little electrical, little switches. And then like the little room up there. That was just absolutely exquisitely done. Love that. And, oh yeah, back here too, I got to give a big shout out. Remember, I was saying on Twitter just a couple days ago, a day or two ago, that I thought it would be cool to do an academic village back here. And that's exactly what I did. So I've got my custom Beyond Drew School of Environmental Science back here. And I dedicated this first building to Beyond Drew, my buddy, because I was saying pretty much from the beginning, when I was getting burnt out on my fantasy zoo, or essentially my experiment zoo that we always talk about. And maybe we'll jump over into that real quick before we get out of here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about for anybody that's new and may have just came on board with this more realistic type build. This is like Pine Creek may not even have happened if it wasn't for Beyond Drew telling me to try the realistic route. He's like, man, just give it a try. Because I was telling him, I'm like, man, I'm just totally burnt out with the fantasy build. I don't know what else to do. People are expecting an episode, and it was Beyond Drew that said, just get. And I told him no a couple times. He's like, I'll even come in and help you. I'll do a couple buildings. Just try, go on the Bro Nation, look around on what those people are doing on there, and just give it a try. So, yeah, like I said, Pine Creek partly exists because of Beyond Drew not letting me give up on the realistic build. So we will dedicate the School of Environmental Science to my buddy Drew. And also, too, as I was building this, I looked up some just brick buildings, and look how awesome Carlos G72's little just random like brick building come out. I built this before I ever even took a look at his building, and when I saw it on the workshop, I'm like, okay, well that is absolutely going in the academic village. It was like he made that for me without even knowing I was going to do this. So I was even thinking about, like, I'm going to expand it a little bit. We'll have, I think maybe we can have like a school of veterinary medicine. You know, we can do a couple things out through here, maybe do another little parking lot. I told Drew, maybe, you know, if this is really, like, if we really look to expand the program out here, we could even maybe do, I was telling Drew we could name it after my other buddy that's always giving me real good feedback. Coaster designer. We can do some kind of zoological school for NutriHersh. He's one of my buddies that really works at a zoo, and we could name a building after him. I'd like to name stuff after all of you all, but we're going to have to keep the academic village as a village and not a city, so this is just kind of like the starting point of that back there. So the enrolled students, you know, they come into the entrance here, check in with security, and they actually they get a parking pass, and they make their way back here actually to the school buildings, and they can park over here and walk across and take their classes and stuff during the day. But like we were saying, that Drew said, maybe do like a dormitory back here to where these students maybe stay for a semester or two. And really what I was saying on Twitter earlier as well is I think the idea is so cool of the hands-on training that the students could get. So it's not so much just sitting in a classroom. Their classroom is based on the edge of a zoo, of a park here. So, you know, they can go out here and you know, apply the professors and stuff can bring them out into the zoo and apply real situational techniques and stuff with the animals, and they don't just have to kind of sit back here with their noses stuck in a book the whole time. So yeah, this is the start of the Pine Creek Academic Village. So I thought you guys would think that was pretty cool, kind of starting that kind of back there on the outskirts of the zoo. And we're not done just yet. I've got one more. Oops, one of our bears is boxed up. I don't know if it's Jenna or Maggie, but listen, I've got one more implied exhibit for you all, and it happened mainly because I just can't get a good North American rustic restaurant going. But check this out. I've got a little river otter kind of like paddock down here. So see, you can make your way, like if you're up here at Black Bear Ridge, and say you're coming up here and you're kind of looking out for them. Ooh, this will be a good shot to, yeah, see, you imagine the little kids like running back here to the end of the fallen log, and look how close you can get. There's one out there swimming. But anyways, moving out of here, of course, I've got to do a lot more fence work and just a lot more, you know, just a lot more terrain work. But look, you could essentially hike down into the river otter exhibit, and you get right up here to the glass. I've got them a little waterfall in there with some rocks, and you could just watch them absolutely have a ball swimming all through this. I've got them some basking rocks up there so they could get up out of the water when they need to. That's the only thing, that's the only downside to kind of like this exhibit I see. I didn't give them enough really land, but this was really, really tough to get the water that deep. It really kind of, it had me in fits yesterday just trying to make it work. But the one thing about Zoo Knoxville that always sucks is when the river otters, the way they are now, there's only one little glass that you can look at them in, and there's usually like stinking 12 people standing in front of it. So if you're not there like right at rope drop, typically you're like standing way back here, because like there's kids up here licking the glass, the parents are like trying to get pictures for 20 minutes. So my thought on this is we've got plenty of different spots to come over and watch these river otters just fly all over this little enclosure. and watch them swim and play and splash. And I thought it was really cool too that the whole exhibit can kind of sit on the banks of the lake over here. And like I said, the restaurants and stuff that I was designing right here, they looked like such trash. My fallback was a little was a river otter exhibit. And I just think it'd come out really, really cool how they have their own little, kind of like their little hidden cove down in there, like up on the, right off the slopes of Black Bear Ridge. So yeah, that is kind of, that is what we have going on right now, guys. I didn't mess with the, I haven't messed with the lake much more. Some of you guys were saying we needed more beach area, so that's kind of what I've been messing with a little bit, just getting a little bit more natural beach on the lake. Let's see, didn't do anything to the entrance. We did get some backstage water filtration in place. Like I said, spent a lot of time kind of messing with the African elephant bridge. It was kind of tough too to make it to where they could cross it. Look at that little slither, like that was tough to attain and still make the path work. But once I got it, you know, then you know, definitely they don't have any problems using it now. But yeah, that was kind of a logistical nightmare to work out here. Uh-oh, we got some chimps boxed up. And then, of course, like I said, we've got the gorillas to look forward to. We've got the we got to get a gorilla habitat going. We've got to get the zebras in, the giraffes. I know you guys want to see giraffes. Now that I've plopped down 2 implied enclosures for you, that will hopefully take care of that for a little bit. If you guys can think of any more implied enclosures, though, definitely hit me up. I think these implied enclosures are some of my best ones they're better than some of the real enclosures in the zoo. So anyways, let's what we'll do is let's pop over. Let's see, actually let's cancel, let's save this. Usually have a bunch of saves, like, you know, protect saves and stuff like that. Let's we'll exit to the main menu real quick, and I will show some of these new people our old fantasy zoo. And you guys can kind of, when you hear me or people in the comments kind of reference the fantasy zoo, you'll know what we're talking about here. So let's go into my zoos. That's what I was working on. Rudy, new zoo. Yeah, I think that's just kind of what I called it when I was doing some protect saves and stuff. This one may take a little bit to load up because you'll see there is a lot going on, a lot more going on here than Pine Creek. But I was actually telling Coaster Designer today, him and I were chatting, and I said the fantasy design builds, the only thing about them is they really, really, really do not lend themselves very well to burnout. Like you get burnout really, really quick. And let's see here, we'll pause this so the frames don't absolutely horribly tank on us. But yeah, this is our original this is our original experiment zoo. So definitely had that, you know, the African type flair. This is kind of like the main little area where you first come in, and you were kind of greeted by our giant saltwater crocodiles. But yeah, this is it. This is our huge hippopotamus exhibit over here. We've got monorails. I've got like a little city over here, like a little African village with shops and restaurants. Over here, this is the massive African plains. You can see this, like it starts here and takes up all of this space. So over here is the large African elephant exhibit. Here are our lions. But yeah, this park was definitely some work, and it was a ton of fun. Here is our here was like our jungle train station. This is the Bengal tiger exhibit. You could watch them come down here, and so there goes one going across the bridge right now. So we got their waterfall and kind of like the mysterious temple up here. I love how they can use these walkways. Oh, she's just gonna lay down right there on the bridge. Oh, maybe not. And then kind of when you move further down here, we've got the Indian Elephant Lagoon. Here's one out here on the edge of the island. And they have a pretty massive enclosure as well. See, they can come all the way through here, across their bridge, or even in the water. And they can cross, so this is kind of like our little Indian elephant herd here. There, up here's our old dam. It's kind of holding back that water up there. Thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, we definitely had some fun times in this zoo. This zoo started off my Planet Zoo career here, essentially. This is our North American area with our black bears. Wayland. It's our little black bear exhibit. Look at little baby. He's over there swimming. He's like, wait, Mom. Yeah. He's quick. Is that not the stinking cutest thing you've ever seen in your whole existence? Robert. He stays pretty close to Mom. And then we've got our bison over here, like the bison plains. And we've got our wolf, kind of like our wolf den over here. See, like the whole spine of the wolf den. And you can kind of come right down in here and look in on them. From that side, we've got glass. We got a little tunnel in here. You can kind of peek in on their den. They're really, really fun to watch. And then their neighbor is our... Let's see, where's he at? Is he boxed up? It's our grizzly bear over here. I don't know where he is right now. Oh, there he is. Henry. Our lone grizzly bear. This is kind of his whole habitat. But yeah, you know, that's kind of a... So like I said, if you hear us talking about the first zoo... this is essentially what we were talking about. But anyways, guys, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and let you get on out of here. I've kept you here for like 22, 23 minutes now. I'm sure you've got some other stuff to get to and mess with and watch. But yeah, just let me know what you think about all this Planet Zoo mischief we're getting in. Don't forget to be on the lookout, too. Beyond Drew and I are kind of going to give we're going to do another podcast very, very soon. And get in here and chat about all this weird stuff you guys like listening to. And yeah, we will just continue on with some Pine Creek mischief as well. So anyways, guys, I'm SDN Wolf. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out at the channel. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you. See you guys.